Well, look, welcome to the future of economics, okay? Because the future of economics is going to be electronic, right? And it will require good connections between people
Mhm.
and between things.
Mhm.
Did, what is going to happen? What is going to happen
Mhm.
when we try to run our whole systems like this and they crash?
Mhm.
What is going to happen when people can't access their bank accounts because of some glitch in the system or something, right? Um,
Mhm.
I mean, this is
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
this is not a good future to have when everything is
Mhm.
digital. Digital communications, good, uh, but we need a variety of systems, right? For variety, if we can,
Okay.
yeah, we need a variety of systems. If you can go into a supermarket and have choices with
Mhm.
food and whatever you want to buy, soup, crisps, cereal,
Mhm.
bread, fruit, vegetables, alcohol, then we can have variety and choice with economics as well,
Mhm.
right? So we shouldn't just have digital systems because what happens when your credit card doesn't work? What happens when your bank like I don't really want somebody knowing everything that I buy. I don't mind my bank knowing what I buy with my credit card. I don't mind that. I mean, it's not a problem for me.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
I don't have a problem with that. But what if I want to buy something from my friend or from my neighbor or
Mhm.
uh, for my kids or for my parents or something secondhand or something through Facebook or something on
Mhm.
the digital system is not going to work for that. It's not going to work. It's so we can't survive with a pure digital system. It's just it's it's too dangerous, right?
What is not dangerous?
Well, it's not dangerous. Apples are not dangerous.
Apple.
Apples are not dangerous. Uh,
Mhm.
this blanket is not dangerous. Okay. Uh, my cup is not dangerous.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about that.
But
I don't
not
know.
dangerous for you
Uh,
or nobody.
I don't. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe everybody's dangerous for somebody, right?
Mhm.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe, maybe.
it's
But
true.
yeah, but I mean that um, there was a big protest in Canada recently against the Canadian government. Hundreds of thousands
Mhm.
of people
Mhm.
protested,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the
I
government
know.
the government got all of their bank accounts and froze the bank
Thank you.
accounts so the people
Mhm.
could not spend any money.
Mhm.
And this
Oh.
meant they couldn't buy food. They couldn't buy food for their families and their children. The
Mm.
Canadian government froze the bank
Mhm.
accounts of the protesters so that they couldn't buy
Mhm.
food for their families.
What is it?
Well, this is called fascism, right? It's fascism. Yeah.
Like
It's digital
fascist.
fascism.
Mhm.
It's digital
Mhm.
fascism, and that's what governments do, and that's why it's
Mhm.
dangerous. That's why it's dangerous. They can just they can stop your trade. You can stop your interactions. In fact,
Mhm.
um, there's an online charity called GoFundMe, and people gave $8 million to GoFundMe to support the protesters. And uh, the Canadian government took all the money and kept it. They took all the money. They took $8 million and they kept it. People like you and me gave money to the protesters so they could have food and water. And the government took all of it and kept it for themselves. That's fascism. It's also, it's also hurting people and hurting children, and it's just wrong,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but the Canadian government is a fascist government. It's fascist, right? Until people realize the truth, um, nothing will get better. Until and until you say, "I know there is a problem," nobody can help you, right?
Mhm.
Right? So uh, that's crazy, and that is because the Canadian government is the Canadian government has a partnership with the Chinese government. Let's just say that. Yeah. It has a partnership with the Chinese government and various other United Nations organizations. And
Mhm.
it is, well,
Mhm.
it's geopolitics, right? It's geopolitics.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's geopolitics because China wants to surround the United States.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they have the Mexican drugs cartels destroying the
Mhm.
southern border, and
Mhm.
they have complete control now of the Canadian government through the World Economic Forum. So
Ah.
geopolitics, right? It's interesting. Big game. It's a big game. It's
Mhm.
it's
Mhm. I
it's,
understand.
it's a global it's a global chess board,
Mm.
and it's a very big game at the moment in time. So uh, the, the World Economic Forum and various other economic groups, including the banking cartels run through
Mm.
Bilderberg and other organizations, their aim is to ensure that nobody has any private property by 2030.
Mhm.
So they have an 8-year plan at the moment to make everything so expensive that people can't buy anything.
Mhm.
That is the plan.
Mm.
Um, Property prices, for example, right? I mean,
Yes. Mhm.
it's getting more and more and more difficult to
Mhm.
own property. Uh, Cars are getting more expensive. They're not getting cheaper, they're getting more expensive on average because of
Mhm.
taxes and fuel.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's
Mm.
crazy because fuel is so expensive because of the
Mm.
taxes that the government puts on the fuel. That's why it's so expensive.
Mhm.
Fuel itself is not actually really that expensive because it's a natural resource that's available almost everywhere. Um, but it's because of government taxes that government makes so much profit from it that it can't reduce and it's a necessity for society as well. So yeah, everything's going to be more expensive. Transportation, um, resources, um, and as a result, everything else. Food prices will be more expensive. Um, Inflation will be faster than personal economic growth, and so.
In our country, zvyšujú ceny benzínu, nafty.
The price
Increasing.
is increasing. Yeah.
Increasing.
Yep. The price is increasing. Yes, very quickly. And this is not natural. This is not natural. This is artificial. This is not a natural increase. Right. Well, it is normal for example, it is normal for energy prices to increase maybe 3-4%. Okay, or maybe 3%, 2-3%. Okay, that is normal, right? Energy crisis, energy crisis. It is a crisis. Energy prices in Scotland are increasing between 300 to 400%
Yeah.
this year. 300 to 400%. This is the largest energy price increase in human history
Yeah.
since the beginning of time, since the dinosaurs. Okay? Since the dinosaurs were on the earth, right? This is the largest increase in energy prices anywhere in history. 300 to 400%. And there's no protest. No protest.
Everybody's quiet.
Everybody's tired. Because, because of the last 2 years of protest, right? Everybody's tired. It's
Boris Johnson knows everything.
He's either really stupid or really evil. I can't work out what it is, right? But smart, he's not. I think he was. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's. Can you be prime minister and be stupid? My senses tell me no, it's not possible. You can't really be prime minister and be stupid at the same time. Then what is happening, right? Then what is happening? Do we have a government anymore? I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. It seems to me that global banks and insurance companies and corporate interests are far more powerful than government at the moment, and that government's original job was to work for the people, and doesn't seem to do that anymore anywhere. It's same problems, absolutely everywhere. How do you solve the problems? I think that well, my opinion. My opinion is to read the Bible. Okay, I think that because you give, when you focus on the problem, you give more power to the problem. So you can't focus on the problem because it just gives more power. Don't, like I said, don't feed the bears. So because that's what people want. People do crazy things because they want power and attention from doing the crazy things. That's why they do crazy things. Oh, look at me! I'm crazy. Or for whatever reason, right? I mean, that's why people do it. Look at all those stupid people on the X Factor, or Slovakia's Got Talent, or Britain's Got Talent, or America's Got Talent, or the moon has talent or something. I don't know, whatever, right? Whatever stupid TV program they have. Yeah. Yeah, all those stupid people. Never ending. Continuous line of stupid person after stupid person after stupid person saying, "Look at me, look at me. Look at me, I can drink 5,000 cups of coffee," or "Look at me, I can put a pen in my ear," or something, or or swallow a sword, or the crazy stuff that people can do. Every now and then it's entertaining, and you uh, maybe somebody can sing really nicely, and that's a good thing. But it is really just people don't watch the program to see people do good things. They watch the program to see how stupid we are. Right, right. I mean that's look at look at the most watched videos on YouTube or other platforms. It's, stupid people doing stupid things, right? Or crazy people doing crazy things, or people doing dangerous things, or it's it's not anybody being normal, right? It's not anybody being normal at all. We don't we celebrate the abnormal or the strange, which is probably not the best idea in my opinion. Mm. So yes, yes, yes. The world is a bit crazy, but
Difficult topic.
but yet it's something that affects everybody as well
Mm, mm,
at the same time. So uh, yeah, everybody has to deal with the problem, and we can only move forward if we understand what the
mm,
problem is and where the problem is. And as usual, um, if the problem is always solved somewhere else. Okay, so somebody walks into the doctor's office and, "Doctor, oh, I have a pain in my
mm, mm,
chest," or whatever. So the doctor gives them a scan, and it's like, "Oh my God, it's cancer," and it's like, "Oh, what should I do?" Or or I have to, and you know, number one, what's in your fridge? Okay, you know what I mean. The problem is not
mm,
here. The problem is over
mm,
there somewhere.
mhm.
The problem is in a different place,
Yeah.
right? We're always dealing with the symptoms or the expression of the problem. But did you cut
Mm,
poison, burn out the cancer,
mm,
but the person goes to their fridge and eats the same
yeah.
genetically modified
Yeah.
processed garbage, and
Mhm.
6 months later, another cancer, right? Um, because you're feeding that negative element there.
Mm,
So um, the problem is solved somewhere else, right? Uh, um, mental problems are increasing. Suicides are increasing. What should we do? Open the
mm,
churches. They should all be open all of the time because because you know evil does not sleep, right?
mm.
Evil does not sleep. The churches should be open all of the time.
How often do you visit church?
Um,
Mhm,
I pray
mhm,
every day. So um, for the first 100 years of Christianity, there were no churches. Okay,
mhm. Yeah.
people people prayed in their own
Great.
homes,
Yeah.
partly because it was dangerous, right? And
Mhm,
and bad things happened to a lot of Christians. They were persecuted.
mhm,
Um, so it started with people praying in their own homes, and I think that That's what matters. What you do when no one is looking is who you are. And if it's a big if Jesus comes back into the world, if right, I mean,
Yeah.
that's I and
Nobody knows.
and nobody knows, and um, probably won't be something that any of us see in our lifetimes, right? So, but if he comes back, he will he will see you at your worst, not your best. Do you understand?
No, ako
He's
maintindihan.
he's he's going to see the worst part of you,
Mhm.
not the best part, the worst
Mhm.
part.
Oh, ayos.
And
Mhm.
everyone is trying to present themselves in the best way possible,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's natural, and it's not a bad thing. It's
Yeah.
it's it's it's
Mhm.
it's good to look good. It helps you feel good, and all those things are fine. Um, but you know, Christ is not going to appear when you're looking good. He's going to appear when you're looking bad. He's not going to appear when you're happy. He's going to appear when you're angry. Okay? He's gonna he's gonna see you at your worst because that's part of who you are. And when you're at your best, there's nothing to be done, right? You know, when you're all good, you're all good. That's it. But
Mhm.
but it's the other side, yeah.
Mhm.
And so Christ is not going to walk into the church and see all the people in the church and be happy. He's he's
Mm.
not going to do that.
Mm.
He's going to find he's going to see people being who they are, where they are, what they are. He's going to know them instantly as who they are and what they are, and so we have to consider the fact that in a religious context, in a Christian context, the worst part of ourselves is the best part that Christ is going to see. Christ is not going to see the best part of us.
Mhm.
He's going to see the worst part of us. So
Understand.
for so for Christ, our worst part is our best part. And that's why we have to work on that. Right? That's why we really have to work on making the worst part much better in in all of us because what's good is already good. You don't need to work on it very much. And it's true with any skill, really. If you're a footballer and you play football, your good skills are not the problem. It's your bad skills. If you play football with your right leg is not the problem. You need to play better with your left leg.
Mm.
You need to
Mhm.
improve what you're not good at.
Mm.
And and for me, the church is very much symbolic of the image of things.
Mhm.
No, and it's nice to have nice things. It's nice to get together. It's nice to meet together. And but that's not the whole picture. That's only that's the yin without the yang, right? Right. It's only half of the thing. Yeah. Um, it's like you don't choose your you don't want to choose your friends by how happy they are and how they manage their happiness. You want to choose
Mhm.
your friends by how they manage being unhappy. Because we will all at some point be happy and we will all at some point be
Mhm.
unhappy. And you want to choose your friends as people who know how to manage their negative side, their unhappiness, their resentment, their envy, their greed, their anger. You need friends who are able to manage and control those parts of themselves.
Mhm.
Um, and these are parts we don't like to show to other people, right? But they exist within all of us. We all have negative elements to our character, and we don't like to show them to other people, but they exist. And the best way to choose your friends is to know what their negative side is and to see how they manage and control it. Um, to see how they plan to avoid problems, to see how future minded and orientated they are
Mhm.
towards those things. Do they try to solve problems themselves? Do they ask other people for help? Do they sit and think about it? Do they give it time? Are they patient? Do they go to a bar and drink alcohol? How do they manage the problem? And that that very much matters. And for me, a lot of religion is kind of entertainment in a way. Really, it seems to be how people dress and how people perform, and um, it's really missing the point that it, it, it's it's not a celebration about how wonderful everything is. It's a realization of dangers and how we need to improve on things. And you can celebrate it as well. I mean, celebrate the things you need to celebrate for sure. That's good. It's good to celebrate. It's good to have fun. It's good to do all those things. Um, but um, the Bible is very much a book of warnings. Yeah, it's if you are not careful, this will happen. If you're not careful, this will happen. If you're not careful, that will happen. And that's what we that's what we forget. People are scared. People are scared to read the Bible because they know that they'll just read about themselves and they'll hate themselves. Right? It's true. I mean, why don't you have the Bible in schools? Oh well, it's complicated, it's difficult. I mean, you are not ready for it because you can't teach anyone else because you haven't solved any of these problems in yourself, right? So, how you handle problems
Mhm.
very much determines a lot of your success in life, your response to negative situations, and your ability to deal with them,
Mhm.
to either try to solve them or to accept them. Yeah, and no one teaches that, right? No one, they don't teach that in schools, right?